Coming up, who stole the food from the school canteen? Can fingerprints help catch the culprit?
Dangerous driving. Who crushed Mum's favourite flower? The shocking case of the mud-splattered bicycle.
And who left a ghastly stain on a ballet costume? Will glitter give the culprit away?
We'll find out who the guilty party is with that giveaway glitter later in the show.
But first, let's head out to the lake where something shocking has happened to Stephanie's bicycle.
A shocking crime has been committed. Come on, Stephanie. Oh no, your poor bike. Someone stole it and dumped it in the mud. Now look at it, it's filthy. This is a dirty crime that has to be solved. It's got to be the work of those local troublemakers, the Dawson brothers. There they are. The older one with the bike is Brad Dawson. The middle one's Dean. And the little guy's Jack. And their muddy sneakers have just given me a brilliant idea. Come on. If we can match the mud on their shoes with the mud on the bike, we may have our man.
Mud is sticky because it contains tiny soil particles mixed with water. Electrical charges help the tiny mud particles stick together. They can even stick strongly enough to make mud bricks.
We're going to compare some mud samples, one taken from Stephanie's vandalised bike and some others from the shoes of our suspects, the Dawson brothers. Brad, Dean and Jack. Okay, first up, the eldest, Brad's. Our bike mud matches his scraping exactly. Interesting. Now Dean's. Whoa, that's totally different. His scraping is much sandier. So, Dean is off the suspect list. Now the youngest, Jack's. Another match. So, we've narrowed it down to Brad or Jack. Trouble is, both mud samples look the same, but are they the same? We need more evidence. And I think I know just where to find it. Come on, Stephanie, to the lake. In science class, we learned all about creatures that live in lakes. So, if we can match what's in the lake with what's on the muddy shoes, we could identify our bike thief. Perfect. Back to the crime lab.
Algae might be tiny, but believe it or not, they can tell experts a lot about a crime scene. Dirty water can contain hundreds of different types of algae. By collecting samples of algae, popping them onto microscope slides, and looking at them under a microscope, experts can identify the combination of algae species, a bit like we recognise a signature. By working out which algae comes from which body of water, police can work out where a crime was committed, hopefully pointing them in the direction of the culprit.
I had no idea there were so many different types of microscopic creatures living in ordinary water like this.
Yeah, Shay, it just looks like ordinary dirty water to me.
It does.
But I guess there could be all sorts of algae growing in there.
Yeah, and just imagine they're all staying alive because they consume the nutrients floating in the water.
Oh, amazing. Look at that. Anyway, let's get back to the crime scene where Jake and Stephanie are hot on the trail of their bike-stealing culprit.
We're trying to find out which one of the Dawson brothers stole and dumped Stephanie's bicycle. We've eliminated Dean, and that leaves Brad and Jack as our prime suspects. Okay, let's see what lives in the lake. Cool, look at that. Exactly the sort of bugs and algae our teacher said live in lakes. Now, will we find the same stuff from the shoes? First, a little scrape of mud from Brad's shoes. Mix it around and pop it under the microscope. There are some algae there, but the bugs are much smaller. Looks like Brad's in the clear. But let's check Jack's shoes. More water, please. Aha! Just like the creatures in the lake. Which means the bike thief is Jack.
Top class investigating, guys. That's exactly what happened. Mischievous Jack made off with Stephanie's bike, and when he'd done enough joyriding, he threw it into the muddy lake and sneaked off to play with his brothers. And to imagine, the whole crime was solved with the help of tiny creatures that make their homes in lake water.
Well, we solved the perfect crime. And Jack's got Stephanie's bike looking brand new. All he has to do now is clean all those muddy shoes.
Well, that all ended happily, I'm glad to say.
Yeah, but over at Charlotte's house, rehearsal's underway for a big concert, and things are about to go very, very wrong.
We're rehearsing for our ballet recital. My routine's coming along really well, if I do say so myself. Let's see how Jelena's going. Pretty good too, but something's not right. Maybe it would be better if we looked the part. My ballet costume is usually in our dress-up box. Although we could go for a cowgirl outfit. A road worker. A businesswoman. But the one we're really after is a ballerina costume. Maybe it's in the laundry. Aha, here it is. Oh no! A gross, glittery stain. But who did it? It could have been one of my messy sisters. Renata. Or Karina. Or my little brother Hugo. He's always dressing up. Let's see if our suspects have left any traces.
Glitter was invented almost 80 years ago. It's made of shiny particles less than 1 millimetre in diameter. And it glitters because its tiny metallic surfaces reflect light.
Lines, please, Jelena. We'll check out Hugo's room first. This crime's going to be solved in the dark. Glitter sparkles, so we'll use a torch. It'll make any stray bits of glitter easy to see. There's no sparkles there. None there either. No glitter anywhere in Hugo's room. So he is officially not guilty. Let's try Renata and Karina's room next. Lights out. Nothing. None there either. Aha! I think I spot something up there. A glittery patch on Renata's pillow. Get my fellow detective to pass me some sticky tape. Wrap it around my hand. and gather the glitter as evidence. And look, more sparkles. It's another patch of glitter, this time on Karina's bedside table. She'll gather that for evidence too, and the mystery of the ruined ballet costume will soon be solved.
Oh, well, look at my glitter. It's all pretty and pink.
Okay, mine's multicoloured. Ooh, much more impressive, wouldn't you say?
No, and anyway, I can go one better because I'm wearing glitter in my makeup. Makes me all glittery and special, don't you think?
Let me take a closer look at that with my magnifying glass. Oh,
What?
well, you look a little bit like a fish with all those little tiny scales.
What is that meant to mean?
You look shiny, though.
Well, I am naturally bright, Steve. I'm glad you noticed that. I think it's time we got back to Charlotte's house, where she and Jelena are tracking down their culprit from traces of glitter left at the crime scene.
Someone's totally ruined my ballet costume and I need to wear it at tonight's recital. But we're on the case. And our breakthrough came when we found traces of glitter. This special equipment will show us exactly who the perpetrator is. Our prime suspects are Renata and Karina. And now to analyse the evidence. First up, the glitter from Renata's pillow. They're hexagons with little hooks on some of the corners. And now, the glitter from Karina's table. They're smaller and no hooks. Now, how do they compare with the glitter on the ruined ballet costume? Plain as day, just like the stuff on Renata's pillow. So the fiendish ballet costume wrecker is Renata.
Great job, girls. Glitter is very useful evidence often found at crime scenes. It's small enough to go unnoticed by criminals. The metallic-coated plastic material doesn't decompose quickly, and it's also sticky enough to adhere to most surfaces.
It's amazing what a bit of glitter can do. It's like we've suddenly become brilliant ballerinas. Oops. Maybe we better stick to crime solving. Where's Kip? We'll be late for canteen duty. Finally, let's get cracking. What? The chain's been broken. Oh no! Somebody's broken into the canteen. Oh, and look, the light globe's been taken out. It must have happened last night. They've stolen all the lunchtime fruit. We've got to solve this crime. Let's look for some clues. Hey, hands off, Kip. That globe confirms the robbery took place in the dark, so the thief wouldn't be seen. And only 2 people are here at night. The handyman Hans does odd jobs after school. And our music teacher, Miss McKenna, holds evening classes. So they have to be our suspects. I wonder if one of them left some fingerprints on this light globe.
The first electric light bulb was made in 1879. It works by using electricity to heat a thin strip of metal called a filament. When the filament gets hot, it glows.
Time for some forensics work. Let's dust the bulb for prints. Give it some powder. I'll dust it down. Aha! Our food thief has left a nice big thumbprint. Hold this, Kip. I'll get a picture. Cool. Now we need to find a match from our suspects. Miss McKenna's music room is just down the hall. Let's check that out first. OK, coast is clear. All the instruments will have fingerprints, but only Miss McKenna plays the flute. OK, Kip, powder up. And dust it down. And there we have it, a fingerprint. I'll just get a shot of it. Clear as a bell. Now for some prints from Hans the handyman. And I know just the place.
Real fingerprint experts have lots of ways of taking clear prints. This bottle is about to be dusted with aluminium powder. And, hey presto, the prints are visible. But it doesn't stop there. The prints are lifted off the bottle with adhesive tape and stuck onto black cardboard, where every detail in the fingerprints can be seen. The suspect's prints are then collected by pressing ink onto paper. Both sets of prints are then scanned by this machine. Then the prints from the bottle are compared with the suspects to see if they're guilty or not.
Cool, let's take our fingerprints just to see how different they are.
Brilliant idea. OK, first we take an ink pad, like this one here. Now, why don't you press your thumb into the ink? Fantastic.
It's kind of squishy, yeah.
Perfect. Now, carefully roll your thumb onto this piece of card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that. Oh,
likewise.
excellent. Do you want to have a go, Steve?
Yeah.
OK, so press your thumb in there.
Press.
And make sure you roll it on the paper.
Roll.
'Cause that's how they do it at the police
Like
station.
that? Oh, I smudged it just a little bit. That's OK.
Excellent.
Oh, wow. Our thumbprints are really different.
Yeah.
Not just in size, but in those tiny little patterns.
Yeah,
Look at that.
detectives wouldn't have a problem telling our thumbprints apart.
I don't think so. And that's what Imogen and Kip are counting on as they track down their canteen thief. Hey.
Somebody broke into the canteen. We found the thief's fingerprint on a light bulb. Now we need to find the culprit and get the food back. Let's head to the car park to see if we can find Hans's van. Yes, there it is. Let's start by checking this mirror for prints. Well, what do you know? There's a big clear print on the mirror. I'll just take a happy snap. Now we can compare all three prints. First, the light bulb. Now Miss McKenna's print from the flute. No, hers doesn't have a whirl in the middle like the light bulb print does. So Miss McKenna didn't steal the fruit. She's in the clear. Now for Hans. See how the whirl in the centre is exactly the same? It's a match. And I've just thought of where Hans might have hidden the fruit. To the storeroom. Whoa, just the proof we need.
Excellent sleuthing, guys, and mostly thanks to telltale fingerprints. Because they're unique for every person, they can prove someone was at the scene of a crime. But proving a person was at the scene of a crime doesn't necessarily mean they committed it, as Imogen and Kip eventually discover.
Oh dear, there was no crime after all. We found out Hans had moved the fruit into his storeroom while he was doing repairs in the canteen. How embarrassing. We better get this back before we're accused of stealing.
Phew, there might have been some very red faces if Imogen and Kip hadn't realised that Hans was perfectly innocent.
Absolutely. But over at Bonnie's house, someone's not as innocent as they're making out.
Now for the traffic update. Looks like no major hold-up.
But no great surprise. Felix and Aaron aren't known for their safe driving records. But to add to their crime, it's a hit and run. So I have no idea which driver is at fault. And neither is admitting to it. So it's up to my forensic skills. I'll have this reckless driver caught in no time.
The first recorded automobile accident occurred in Ireland in 1869. A woman fell from a steam-powered vehicle and she was injured by the carriage's heavy iron wheels.
Maybe there's a clue in the debris picked up by the cars. First, Felix's dark green one. I'll collect it all on some paper. Then bag it. And now Aaron's gold car. Petal, but mostly dirt. Now let's see what Aaron's car comes up with. Very interesting indeed. Dirt and a bit of leaf. And under closer inspection, it's definitely a dahlia leaf from the crime scene. But I guess he could have just run over it. It's a good lead, but it doesn't solve the crime. I'm gonna need harder evidence. But the boys have taken back their cars, making this case even trickier to solve.
Wow, Bonnie certainly is an impressive crime scene investigator.
Yeah, now she's already searched the crash vehicles for evidence.
Yeah, and she found that broken dahlia leaf at the crime scene.
So she's doing very well, but she knows that the evidence she's already found is inconclusive, and we all know what that means.
Absolutely. It means Bonnie has to take her investigation in a whole new direction. But how?
Maybe she has to revisit the crime scene and search for different clues.
I'm trying to solve a careless accident. The innocent victim? Mum's prized dahlia. The hit-and-run driver? Either Felix or Aaron. Maybe those cars left some tyre tracks. Sure have. And they lead straight to the dahlia. But which car? Oh, bother. The boys have taken them away. Never mind. I've just thought of a tricky way to catch the reckless rev head. I'll take a quick photo of the tracks at the crime scene, and then I'll invite them to compete in a little race. I'll just prepare the drag strip with some black paint, lay out the starting grid, and when the cars take off, they'll leave tyre tracks all over the paper. Then I'll be able to match them up with the photo from the crime scene. Drivers ready? Ready? Set? Go! Perfect. Just as I planned. Let's check my results. First, the tracks from the crime scene. Now Felix's car. No match. Now Aaron's. An exact match. So the guilty driver is Aaron.
Good job, Bonnie. Forensic investigators often examine car tracks at crime scenes. That's because tyre marks are so distinctive. By looking at their patterns and directions, they help detectives work out which cars went where at accident scenes. Exactly how Bonnie deduced that it was Aaron's car that ruined Mum's prized dahlia plant.
Now I'm trying to decide whether or not to tell Mum about Aaron's little accident. But those boys are doing their best to keep me on side. And you know, I think they might just be on the right track for once.
Hey, I thought you weren't supposed to bribe crime scene investigators.
I think we can make an exception this time because we have lots more high-caliber investigators on our next show. Bye.
Bye.